Going live on TikTok now and YouTube. Alrighty. Alrighty. Everybody a minute just here to hop on. Yeah, Netflix is moving. Um, all you have is this channel here that we talked about yesterday, and then the red wick over to your left, right there at 79, and obviously the floor here. That'd make for a really great trade back up to the upside if you close, or I mean, even if you were to take it next week, that's a nice little play right there, up to 82.20. Yes, I did. Yeah, the cues were great. Um, After I left, though, they didn't do anything, which that's what I thought. We and you know, again, earlier as we dipped, I thought maybe we might actually see the pullback. But the way that we fell was so fast, I was, obviously a little hesitant here. And I mean, I'm still in this. I mean, it's kind of hard to fight what we're looking at right now, and then that trend channel that we've been watching here is kind of pricing in, by going sideways, that potential 614 that I gave it. Yeah, Trump did. Yeah, that was sweet. Just a few more seconds. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me just alert one more time. What's the music? It's Coco Coroco. Coco Roco, excuse me. Pretty chill. All right. You like that over the weekend still? Um, Probably if we hold this close, yeah, I would be looking at a move up to 614 on Monday. Um, but again, probably hedge that. We'll see. We still have plenty of time here to find some resolve. If we can't do this, if price, again, which is inside of a 15-minute, 5-minute range, all the empty space has been held. So if we can find ourselves back down around 604, then I'll be looking. I mean, we're really close to a trade, being on both sides of this trade. So the weekly has given zero confirmation, but 604 would at least split that candle in half. Um, so if you didn't take a position off of this and waited for Monday, I wouldn't blame you. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and get started here with the recap. Yeah, no problem. Giova. He said, "Where is this YN?" That's crazy. All right. So, first things first, folks, as we near the close, as I was just discussing, and this is the important part. If you're on TikTok, tap your screen. Real quick before I go any further, again, March 1st is going to be the start of the live Potterbox workshop, which you can attend. And yearly is discounted 25%. All right. Anyway, so weekly candle closes, QQQ, right? We are up against the floor. We did tap the floor like we talked about today. We're extraordinarily far away from 593 or being closed red at all. And so, of course, yes, the potential here and is that we could punch through this box. And on the 4 hour, right, there's that move up to 628, and that's something that I'm eyeballing. Uh, again, potentially over the weekend, even if it's just a speculative position, because again, I do expect for this tension to break going into next week and to pick up some volatility. Um, so that being said, right, we followed the uptrend channel. We're sitting at the floor or sitting right at that floor. So the closer that we close to it, the higher the probability that that signal would be to give us at minimum a 614 target. And of course, 614 would likely and could likely lead to a break over 617.50, and we have a lot of empty space to fill there. Now, making sure that we're not going into anything without, because again, we are watching to see whether or not price does end up closing back underneath those levels, right? And if we've already retraced, so I mean, you should have kind of already reversed, or broken back up above with that wick on the higher time frame. If you look on the hourly, you're pulling all of the volume out of the box underneath you. So we really can't afford too much more chop or too much more hesitancy as we're trying to potentially break above that 610.50. So that's what we're looking at going into the close. Obviously, if we don't have the volume here, then next week should be allow for a relatively easy entry. Now, of course, I know some of the back of some of your guys' minds, you're probably thinking, well, there could be news, Iran, all this other stuff. Yes, I will speculate on that due to the fact that tension is near its max, or rather, our break is expected. Yeah, bad news is good news. But that being said, we'll watch as we move into the close to find or see whether or not price is able to get closer to that 610. Or if it retreats back down, seeing as it has no more empty space and does have to punch through this small range, which it is refusing to grab at 608.78. So, all right, now moving to the weekly. Yeah, CrowdStrike is dying. And last thing before I move on, 24-hour chart. Yes, in the back of my mind, if this does reject, if we do close lower, that this could be a weak ass retest, because again, in order to get up, right, 5 candles to go and touch what we could typically accomplish in one day, I don't think so. So closer you get, the better. But obviously, if this retreats far enough down, I could consider this to be a potential retest, and this range here would likely get tested for a third time. All right, now moving on to SPY. This weekly candle, or 24-hour, well, let's start with the weekly here. The weekly candle stays in range, right? It does encapsulate most of last week's price action. Doesn't, what the fuck? Doesn't break anything, right? And on the weekly, we really don't have as clear levels as we do on the Qs. And then moving to the 24-hour time frame, right? It was this range here, and you did build a box around cost basis, which is kind of a rare phenomenon, but you did, right? And so this one, again, I don't really care for SPY as much as I do the other ones. However, its signal, if you will, is stacked on top of one another, and until we're pretty far away actually from reclaiming that 591. That could be something people consider to be a target going into this week. That would be 691.75 and potentially 693.73. So we'll, again, as we move into the close here, see how price responds. And on this lower time frame, it has been this floor over here to our left, and those wicks that have still been refusing to let price pass. So do with that one what you will. Now, IWM, what the fuck? I mean, again, tariff decision comes out. We haven't moved. So next week could be our week. You can clip that if you want. uh, I'm fairly certain that we're looking at a break. And I mean, this is one of those setups that if you threw 2 weeks out and went far out of the money on both sides, you probably make a bag. Not recommending it, just saying the volatility is likely set to break. And this is the typical date and range. We've talked about this for IWM to start at least making that move to the down or any side, right? And I say downside because instinctually, if something cannot and keeps refusing the same level, I look short. Just like you would if something keeps bouncing off of a floor, you would look long. Sorry. Now, in terms of clarity, as far as floors are concerned, we don't have that, right? Unfortunately. On the lower time frame, however, we do. We have a little bit more clarity. We have two targets underneath us for a potential overnight breakdown specifically, right? And we are not very close to that floor, but under 262. The target is 259. Obviously, 260 is a psychological target that you would consider a trim at before that target is hit, but I see 597.25 if we do again. And one of the best places to be as a seller is, yes, at the top. But the overhead price target, right? If we are able to break, and this would be something that we're looking at as we go into the close, the higher that we close, or closer that we close to 265.50, the better. Now, I'm looking at this right now as we speak, and man, you've got 3 rejections off the top today, multitude of rejections overhead, and so this floor for sure is where price is likely going to retrace. So that mean, man, if you're if you're looking to make some money this week, I mean, or next week, excuse me, IWM is set to make a bigger move. Good clean box on the 30-minute underneath you. So with that being said, if I'm looking right now, and I think that if we even by the end of the day or close soon now, 263.26, I'd be looking for a test of that floor. So, but the tension is incredibly high, and there is a lot of money to be made here. So anyway, all right. Now, targets again, like I said, just to recap here, is going to be 259.77, 260, right? Same thing. It's 260 and then 259.77. A break through that, however, would again give us a trigger and leg down to 257.50, and that would be where we would look at a target-based contract. Now, because we have not lost anything, and yeah, that is kind of a requirement to take a swing with confirmation. You have a 268.50 target overhead, and then sneaky, right? There is just a fragment of empty space upon a recovery of that level, right? And that would give you a price target of 270.80. So you can use these Can I trade this with $20? Yeah, well, yeah, you can actually trade IWM $20. Yeah, you could probably do a straddle with $20 on IWM. All right, folks. So all 3 ETFs, the move is looming, where tension is pretty high. Retest, that's what we're looking at. Is this a retest, or is this going to um, allow for price to set up for a potentially large move to the upside? So, all right. Sorry if I sound a little nasally. For some reason, my sinuses are bothering me really bad right now. We've got trees budding out here already, so the pollen is about to destroy me. All right. If you have anything you would like for me to take a look at this afternoon, it is 3:20. Let's see what you got.
Do we have any earnings?
Not tonight. Monday. Potter Transportation. That's funny. Yeah. Uh, no way. Hammer. Oh man. Yeah, I let that retest off of 178, but Come to Buffalo. We have another 2 months. Yeah, right.
Damn, silver just sold the double.
Sheesh. Yeah, starting to pick up a little bit of juice there. Nice 24-hour candle close at the top of that range. I want to know your bid on the Team USA hockey team winning this hockey game right now. Um, I think if that one guy gets a touchdown, um, then he can run the plates and get back to base.
Should shoot the three.
Shoot the yeah, I always shoot the three when I'm getting close to the hockey. I'm sorry, Lauren. I'm not I'm not a sports guy. I don't watch sports very often. I'm sorry. I mean, I guess I hope America wins. That's kind of a big deal for us, I guess. We need a W right now. We need a W. All right, PLNTR up for earnings. Good God Almighty, brother, what is this? And how has my level gotten hit and bounced back? I think this had earnings. No, no. What the hell? What the
Yeah,
hell?
that weird move happened like after hours, but the earnings on a Tuesday.
What the hell, Andre? Amazing whippy day, great day for traders. It was at the beginning. We had a kick-ass 500% trade on Lulu. The Qs paid pretty nicely. I know some day traders got better fucking fills than I did, but yeah, it was a good day. I didn't participate basically after like 11:30. I dropped out after we stopped with the floor. All right, so I'm looking at this one, dude, and like I said, again, I look for my clear setups. And I think the obvious analysis here is, 85 is that level underneath you. Now, I do find this unusual that you wicked down all the way to touch 75, and that could be the reason why you end up climbing back up into that empty space, which would be 108.44. I would split that in half, however, and probably give it a 101 target. Um, that's about it. I mean, I wish I could add something a little bit more thoughtful. However, that's weird. Um, yeah, again, yeah, the rotations inside of this range are great, but the space that you create inside of them, this is the third time. That's 2 times off the top. So, yeah, I would say 85 underneath you. So. How was my Friday? It was great. Great Friday. Sleepy, but it was really exciting at first. All right, let's see here. PS Sprott physical. Oh, try a little cheat code here. So I think you have one obstacle in your way, and that's not a box. Well, it kind of looks like a box, actually. Interesting. So floor, ceiling. So I'm not, again, you open up and it looks like you wick through some empty space and then shot back down, creating a range of your own. So if you basically do this, it should match up perfectly. So, I mean, honestly, it closed here over 27.77 and the target's, first target, or resistance rather, would be 28.80. And I think that's where you probably would pick up some speed. Fuck. I mean, actually, hold on. I think I just saw something. The Jimmy Neutron Brain Blast. Ooh. Uh, interesting. Interesting. 31 and 29.75. My percentages have been so much since using the Potter box. I'm so happy I ran across your TikTok. Fuck yeah. Changing the game. Trying to. All right, what else do we got? So much tension on IWM. Listen, I'm just that I don't want to say it's kind of irresponsible for me to say this, but like it's a fucking damn near a lottery ticket, that I've got at least half the numbers on, like I
Said
swear
at
to
least half the
huh? Yeah, I got half the numbers, so I mean I got a pretty good advantage, but I mean it's I like I said last week and the beginning of this week and a couple of days ago, I'm excited. I'm excited. I think that I could probably take a vacation off of whatever move this IWM catches if I can make sure that I have my plan and my targets and the expirations, everything lines up, and I trade underneath it with shorter expiration contracts. I'm gonna have a snack, and this is where I'm willing to put the risk on the line. I am, obviously right now I want to be able to kind of pick one side or the other. And again, I'm trying to shake the bearishness because, again, it needs to be that we are seeing just quite simply a retest. And I think with the 3 rejections overhead, if we can see it's 3:30 right now. If we can see something by the end of the day, but I think we're probably about to bounce right back up and touch the 608.73, at least for now. All right. Anyway, 24-hour on Reddit. Okay. I don't know who Caleb was, but what the hell game are you playing?
You talking about IWM or Qs for the big play or
Q's.
both?
Well, Q's too.
Okay.
Yeah, Q's too.
Yeah.
Remember, remember, don't forget that those have been the weakest. I don't know what the fuck I mean, I don't know what I don't know what Pam Bondi was saying at all, but like, when was the QQQ smashing records? I don't know what the fuck she was smoking. Because there's records for rejections, maybe overhead. Like that might be a record.
Right.
Um, but yeah, that one has been the heaviest. I expect the Qs to fall the hardest when that does drop. Again, there's a lot of big bloated whales in within the Qs. Um, so it's when their weakness shows through that we'll, obviously see that. But first of all, we hit 50K. Show some respect. What are you talking about? 50K what? All right.
NASDAQ.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Thought you meant likes. The Dow is at 50,000. The Nasdaq
Or the
is
Dow. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, not the NASDAQ.
I swear to God, if this pollen comes in this year, I might get one of those allergy shots where they put what is that stress hormone into your body. My homie said it made them all look a little stressed out. It's like, holy shit. Do I hold? Let's see. Do you hold over the weekend? Yeah, sometimes. When you ended earlier, it put me into the Alex Trade Live, and I've never watched him. What'd you think, Bell? What'd you think? All right, so for Reddit right now, this one has a little bit of a confusing range directly up above us, so I'm gonna have to use the lower time frame to solve it. And I think what I'll do, again, there was a box, you did punch through it, but the floor remains the same. So over 152.35, which you're close enough to be able to make that break, I have a target of 162.40. I scrolled. Yeah, silver is dude, and this is kind of in tandem. Um I think silver it might create a large channel here, but I see a target of 81.41 on silver itself, SLV. Man, Nick Carcel, dude. All right, never mind. I'm gonna block you. No bullying. All right, let's see here. Amazon went up to 211, hovering around 209 right now. Interesting. That is obviously a level that we had marked out. And zoom in here, there. That's not a box. That's a range. And 15-minute. So I think this is very similar to the Qs, right? I mean, if you look at it, it's identical. Now, I don't like that. That's the greater detail that I'm not. Yeah, I can't get jiggy with that, baby. Um, that's all empty space, dude. That's so easily reversed on. So two major rejections at the same point, that tells you where you go long, but you need that same juice that you had earlier. Get rid of the space. Yeah, as it moves through it, yes. Potter poo. The fuck does that mean? All right, HL up. Um. Interesting. That looks pretty good. Wide fluctuation in price, potential channel. So we'll see if I can find that. So I'm going to give you a target of 24.94. I think you're pretty close to resistance, and that's a good candle close. But obviously, there's a secondary target at the gap at 26. So it's not a bad setup. So CAR kind of pulling itself back up today, but only retesting that same box that it failed. It did retest where it needed to retest. So if you're watching CAR still, the weekly candle close has not confirmed a move through that range. And so I am still wanting to see that break back over. But this is a decent start, but I don't want it to be, if it's a retest, we're coming all the way back to $60. So yes, I use the NYSE ARCA data package. Yep. Same to me for me, dude. Soon as it put me on his live, he was talking about you and how you were stalking. I was stalking. Nah, I sent him a message this morning. Creep him out. All right. That's funny.
What did you say?
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say. About
Come on,
car.
little bullying, little bullying.
Yeah, I don't wanna be a bully, man. Something, you know what?
Only in the DMs.
Come
You know
on,
what?
I'll allow it this time.
Listen, if I say I was bullied in school, right? Automatically you're like, you're a victim. But like there was some stuff that I stopped doing that I shouldn't have been doing or that was annoying because I got bullied. So I mean like not all bullying, I mean some of that's just social, training and it not in a, CIA way, but like yeah, when I was younger, that can't really act super autistic around, in class without some ridicule, I suppose. Um yeah, just send them all messages saying we see you. All right. Anyway, so that being said, with car, what I was saying is, I'm a little. I like that you did hit it, reject, pull back down, but price is pushing back up. So I still would like to see 66.37, and then that weekly candle. I need better confirmation on that. It's still a good setup, but I mean to see difficulty around 67.62 is not a surprise. Yeah, he just shows his fake stuff. All right, let's see. Oh, whoops, I didn't see that. Let's see here. What do I think about WB Warner Brothers? Aren't they in the middle of buyout talks though? Am I wrong? Is that them?
I'm not sure about that.
If they are, then I my hands off. Yeah, I think that's the weekly, brother. You're in a weekly range. If anything, maybe earnings taps 28 or follows a. This is the control that's exhibited right now. So I mean, unless that deal falls through or something, then at that I don't know if they would announce that on earnings, but maybe I mean, yeah, I don't know why. I don't want to give price targets on this one, but if it is confirmed or awaiting buyout confirmation, then there's not much here to be had. So, is my workshop going to be live conference call format? Yeah, like that. Why do you have a 12-car garage and only 6 cars? Why you get out of my car garage, bro? What are you doing in my car garage? Somebody get this guy out of my car garage, dude. All right. If you ever catch me with more than 6 car, more than fucking 4 cars, punch me in the face. Fuck, you need that many cars for? I mean, if you're a car collector, I guess that's cool, but I'm not that. I'm not a car guy. With the only car I wanted 2 cars in my life. I wanted a 350Z when I was younger, and I wanted a 4Runner. Those are the old. I like those cars. And then there's another car that's $250,000. That's just basically an armored car with like pepper spray in the windows and bulletproof glass. I don't really need it, but you know, maybe all this.
Did you ever get either one of those cars?
Yeah, I got both of those cars. So yeah, I got both of
And
them.
what do you think of the 350Z?
Not good for insurance. Bad for young Garrett.
You can start your Tesla truck business now. I think they're on sale like 39,000 each now.
Yeah, I know. I saw. Right, dude. I'm so glad I
Like,
didn't
damn,
go with that,
You
dude. That was
dodged the bullet there.
I listen,
Yeah.
and
What was
I
it? The trucks?
so I saved up for years to buy a fleet of Cybertrucks. And when the concept first came out, I was like, I'm gonna powder coat them white, and I'm gonna rent them out for weddings. You know, for like redneck weddings. I'll like, I don't know, like I'm just gonna get a fleet of these to rent and start, my own Tesla rental business. And I started to see kind of like what
Good idea.
I mean, consumers were saying. And obviously there's a couple things that sealed the deal for me, because I was down the list of reservations, but I think, was it Whistling Diesel tearing that fucking thing apart with his hands? I was like, nah, we're done. I lost like
It was also
$2,000. Hmm?
Doge too.
Yeah, it was
It was
pre-Doge.
pre-Doge where Elon kind of lost his popularity, and that kind
Yeah.
of fucked him too.
It is bow and arrow proof though. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is bow and arrow proof. But I'm pretty sure my regular car might be bare bow and arrow proof. So, I don't know. All right, Eli Lilly. Anyway, weekly to our 24-hour candle is closing close to the floor. That is an interesting opportunity. Let's flip this chart upside down. And oh man, that's actually pretty fucking tempting. Hold on. I'm not getting quiet for any particular reason. Okay.
Lily's very expensive. Very expensive.
That's what I was just going to find out.
Bro's driving and trading? My man.
He's in a golf cart.
I'm always driving, dude.
Weren't you on a mountain last time or something like that?
Fuck no.
He said, fuck no.
Thinking
There's-
like Jorge's.
Yeah, Jorge's always doing some mountain activities. Here you go, Chris. Do I mentor? No. I mean, this is me mentoring you. If you have any questions, ask them. If you have questions about the strategy, about personal psychology, like, I'm here. All right,
He
anyway.
is seafood powder.
Yeah. Listen, these are expensive and the spread is stupid, but 960 and 920 would be your targets to the downside. Lily could get that done in one move. So, I mean, but the spread is disgusting. The 920s have actually an interesting spread. Those are relatively low risk. I might throw some change at that one. Come in. What's up, buddy? Huh? I think they're in the regular fridge. They're not in there, buddy. Love you. Love you, man. Yeah, hey, can you get off my YouTube, boy? Please? Don't make me assert. Go on Spotify. All right.
Do they have family plans?
Yeah, but all his music is he loves listening to the music that I listen to. He's like he's going through like my entire discography, whatever. I can't say that word. Discography. Just fucking somebody say it. It's one of those words. Discography. I can't say it. Ugh. Do I regret any students? No. Well, that's a loaded question. I mean, yeah, there was a couple that I kind of regret like allowing them to do what they did without nipping it in the bud. But no, I mean, any student that's inside of the Discord now, like, no, obviously when people do shitty things or restream my stream into other discords or try to convert what I'm saying into signals to go put it in their discord, like, yeah, that's pretty whack. Steve was whack, JD was whack, but those dudes, like, I did some pretty heinous shit. So what about you? You're fine, man. Manny's just a dick. Manny's just a dick. He knows that. He knows that. He's that's how he teaches. All right. Is it my shower schedule, or am I always stuck at watching you while I'm in the shower at the gym? That's like a week straight, dude. All right, PDD. Let's see here. PD. Oh man. Oh shit. Oh my god. Hold on. Fuck, that kind of looks crazy. How? I mean, I'm looking at this with just simply a line chart, which, by the way, if your chart is ass, then you can use a line chart to try and circumvent that if it's that important to you. But 106.68 looks like a punchback through. And again, this is how I spot those things. I mean, it's not like that's not obvious. The first target up above you would be 111 for shorter expiration contracts for the long haul, and that would be the target. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of empty space up there. I will say though, looking at this on the weekly, you're not anywhere close to like a real tangible floor. So these could all be. I mean, I don't want. Yeah, it could be a retail, but I mean, I see a 110 target, 111.30, something like this. I would definitely probably hedge because of the way that
There
China
are
moves.
gaps. Yeah, there's gaps underneath it too.
Yeah, I would say 95s.
I was just wondering what you thought. I saw it kind of looked decent, so.
No, I mean it is actually a pretty interesting little setup there. I mean, even if you did pop up to retest that 111.50 before you break down, that would still probably be worth the time. Rivian, do what? Wait, what? Oh, do it with a Riv. Oh, okay. Are you talking about the weekly handle? Don't talk to me. TXN. Oh shit. Okay. Where? I don't remember putting that box up there. You know, TXN does have a tendency to give nasty reversals, and you know, the channel. Oh fuck. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. 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 Yep. 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 Two levels to break. Your weekly low of 216.86 and 211.50, and you should have a pretty straight shot down. Obviously, watch out for 203.60, but well, it doesn't look bad. Put Rose Media. Would you say that day trades have been hitting more than swing trades lately? Yes, because we've been inside of weekly ranges, and inside of weekly ranges, swing trades can be tough. And that's what, again, swing trading is literally the slowest version of trading. So when you go through a weekly range, that's the same thing as you being in a 24-hour range as a day trader, right? It's the same thing as a swing trader. You're just, it's harder to navigate when you have that box or you have a wide range that you're chopping in. So yeah, it's not a surprise that there has been, I mean, there's been some swing trades, but they take off during the day. Like Lulu was a swing trade, but it took off during the day. So all right. That actually looks pretty good, low risk, Chris. I like that. All right, AMD to the downside.
It's a good name.
Huh?
Low risk Chris. I like the name.
Yeah, it is a good name. Um, I wouldn't blame anybody for looking at this one as a short potential. One of the major reasons here would be the fact that you did go back up and retest cost basis, and now you're looking at potentially re-losing this floor, which would give you a first target of the floor of 193.75 and a second major target of, I guess you'd have to give it that 186.82. But that's actually, I mean, that's not a bad close. I mean, it's not really losing anything yet, but I mean, off of that, so you'd have a decent stop loss too. If you pick a good expiration. AMD is also, there's an equal opportunity setup here, on both the up and the downside. So that's not bad. Obviously, refusing and losing the floor here is, I mean, that's my main focus. So yeah, you know what? I might actually take a look at those contracts really quick.
There's a gap right there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, the Qs just can't fucking get it done, dude. It's like it feels like something's about to, it's like news is gonna happen. This is the type of consolidation that we literally created yesterday to create the volatility that we needed today, and we're tightening up in that kind of. I mean, even right now at the close, they're crushing those contracts. But news has got to come from this week. I mean, I hate to amp up the. But yeah, I mean, it feels like there's definitely something news-wise that we could be expecting based off of this. If you're sure, again, nothing has been lost. We're still set up right up against that floor. There's still a target of 614 overhead that would still be channel specific. So, again, we're hoping to see a little bit. Yeah, metals are flying ahead of this too, which does trip me out, Sensei.
What does metals flying mean? That usually like bad
Right.
stocks coming,
For
right?
people, it's safety, right? Metals are safety. So why would people be running to safety? They're scared, which means that we're potentially
They have been
posed.
aligned lately, though.
They have. You are right. They have been aligned, but one's running in front of the other, and that tells me that there's a divergence,
True,
which means
true.
that there could be something, a change or shift in that. So
War never
Yeah.
changes.
Or bears.
nice. My investing account is up 44% with that S&P jump. Miss Terry, let's go. Inflationary hedge. Yeah, inflationary hedge as well, Clem Station. That's right. Metals aren't soaring. The dollar is collapsing. Well, both can be true, right? So silver is, I mean, that's definitely a strong push to the upside. Obviously nowhere compared to what we've seen before or in the last, but this is a significant price move. So I think, both are, I mean, both are very much true. There's the dollar is suffering. Oh, there's the channel. All right, I know you don't really take news into account, but is the premise of war a catalyst? Yes, it is. Right, but does it coincide with the chart? Yes, it does. I been screaming it all week, screaming. I mean, and the difficult thing is that we're not moving, right? And um, obviously any position that's taken this week or weekend or over the weekend, could probably and most likely need to be hedged. Hello? Somebody just opened my door, but nobody's there. My door just swung open and nobody's there. Did you just open my door? My door just opened all by itself. What? Are you fucking with me? Oh. Hmm. Time to move. Nah, dude, I'm gonna fucking fight a ghost, bro. I'm gonna fight a ghost. You imagine being a ghost just haunting the afterlife and someone tries to fist fight you? I mean, obviously, you know you couldn't get touched, but I feel like that, you got to put some respect on me, on my name. Yeah, right now the queues are still holding. They're still holding. So, I mean, like, that's significant enough for me. That's it.
Ground up his money today.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Keep dropping your requests, guys. We have 4 minutes left. Anything else looking sweet, Apple? Fuck. Fuck. See, that's that shit where, yeah, Apple looks like it's about to rip motherfucking ass. Damn, I'm about to fucking. Yeah, like I said, any position taken this week, this is the type of weekend where I would not, there's got to be, you know, even if you're using SQQQ, there's a hedge that could be placed. What are Apple? Jesus Christ, those fall off hard. 270, yeah. Five days out, 7 days out. 275. That would be huge. Sorry guys, I'm looking at those 275, 270 contracts on Apple. Let's see what else needs to happen here. Listen, and also not to mention a hedge, but a longer expiration would also probably be smart. Again, you are taking no matter what, you are taking a unconfirmed position, at least on the queues. Now, Apple, right? It has something that still needs to be done. Obviously, this is a great start, but next week or on Monday, we need to see a break over 265, 266, and that is a killer opportunity to the upside. Real talk, thanks for the direction, Garrett. Reaffirmation is great even for seasoned traders. Yeah, for sure, man. We could talk about that. All right, let's see here. Meta up to 270. Now this one, yeah, you said what? Meta up to 270. Wait, hold on. You got dyslexia like me. 670. There it is. 670. Yes. Yes, that is a good target. Now, is that okay? Oof. See, this is what everything is giving these shit piss signals. That, I mean, that the Apple looks better, but so you filled up your empty space, right? But you are hanging on to a floor. So with that, right, you're far enough away from that where, and I'll zoom down here on the hourly. Couple of minutes left. Give me a second. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to do analysis and take a position. Tell the ghost to move the sneakers behind me. Yeah, Ghost, if you're in here, do they have a ghost stock market? I would like to know. Thank you. IWM 257s. And then Q's are, I mean, Q's target for Monday is 614. It is, yeah. And that might be enough of a rip to, you know, get, and that's if, again, if we break over 610.50, which has been and is still the sell level, right? Period, end of story. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to also go short, folks, with this green candle on the weekly right underneath 610. So, like it or not, that's just how the cookie crumbles. Which also just means that if you are looking to take this trade, you'll have that opportunity. I believe so. All right, I gotta do stuff. Hold on. They were there. All right, 30 seconds, guys. All right. I want to know how you determine the difference, determine the Potter box on a different time frame. The weekly banks is always going to have a precedent over every time frame, right? The higher time frame will always have a higher precedent and priority. So if I see a box or a setup on the weekly, right, it's those candle bottoms and tops and bottoms that are going to be, or structure tops and bottoms that are going to be the most important and the most likely to bounce. Like weekly levels, you don't just butter through those unless there is some sort of wild catalyst. But because this is a box on the weekly, right? If we dive down to the 24-hour, it's gone. So I would be, yes, on a 24-hour time frame, be interpreting or playing this slightly differently. Because again, none of those triggers on the weekly have fired. It's only where those and they're aligned, right? So here's the cool thing about this, right? Is those levels will be intertwined, right? That's that weekly level that I was just talking about, give or take, right? So over this box, which is a Potter box at 614.30, which is where we have empty space too, right? That's where the punchback into that massive, and this is where we expect price to rip, right? Is over 617.84 and all the way up, right, to 627 and 630. And so that's how, I mean, I would be using the 24-hour. You can't use the weekly on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? Maybe Thursday night you can start looking at how that closes, but really those decisions are made. So like the reason that I'm not taking a massive short to the downside is because of the weekly candle on the Qs. So yeah, I mean, moving down into, you know, and the same thing goes because on the 4-hour, 24-hour, the box remains. So it's still relevant.
Hey Potter, I got a question.
What's up?
Are you I don't know if you took Apple, but if you were to take Apple, what would you grab a hedge? Like how would you grab a hedge for Apple?
You can use the Qs, or obviously it's too late to take Apple. But 255 would be the target, that worst case scenario that you could potentially hold on to as a hedge. But I mean, listen, that rip that I'm describing to you guys on the Qs, those things I think happen simultaneously. So you'll see this empty space filled up, and this is I mean, when and if we, it's not if, but when we get over 265.88, this, folks, if you're watching on TikTok, delightful. That is a great setup, and there's multiple areas to set stop losses, right? 267.50 reclaim. You can set a stop loss and look at 271. But yeah. How to avoid chop? Is there a specific time you would not trade? That's a great question. It's not a time, but a range that I do not trade. So yesterday, right, being stuck, I'll show you kind of what this looked like. So yesterday, there was nothing really happened on the Qs. And one of the main reasons that I personally didn't want to trade was right, we had already taken that trade up through this empty space here for that retest and then got pulled back down. And that's all good and well, but you didn't lose anything. So anytime sellers step up, and this is how I avoid getting clapped, is when you're stuck, listen, when you're stuck in between two ranges, that is the most difficult. So that's your short, that's your long, right? That's your long, but that's your long. And when you're stuck in between them, that is where boxes are created. And you use the volume of those surrounding boxes to create the tension in between. And you're pulling from both sides. And so whoever wins gets the break. Yes. Qs by, I mean, maybe by midweek next week, and this is, again, I'm not always trying to predict what's going to happen. You know, again, I see with this sort of candle, it's tough to call it a retest. We'd have to completely engulf that candle, which that's not super likely. At least not immediately. But with that being said, right, we did spend all week, 5 days in a row, trying to get one target broken, and we still couldn't do it. So there is, again, signals on both sides and great setups on both sides. So you don't even need to be right. You just need to be in the you just need to take the right position when that fires. And there's that 617, by the way. That is, again, 616, 68 or 68, 616, 87 and 617, massive. So best positions are taken outside of ranges, yes, and with little to no resistance in front of you. That's when you get the biggest moves. All right. Listen, I mean, with the news that we know, we can almost feel coming. If price wicks up and hits 614 and reverses and loses that floor and we break down through 600, I'm a bear. If we're over 616.87, I'm a bull. It's just that simple. And so next week's going to be a big week. This weekend, you should be preparing for it's not like we don't know that tension is likely heading for a break. And so it's your job to prepare. That's it. What contracts, what risk, what's your target? And obviously with this weekend and the potential for news, if we gap up to 14, I might still be bearish, but maybe. Is Tesla in a downtrend? Tesla is in a side trend. Maybe on a lower time frame, Tesla's in a downtrend. Like right there. But that trend is sloppy. And I would say that something sitting up at the highs like this, just chopping for weeks and months, there's no definitive direction right now. Now, I still feel, and even looking at this weekly candle, that shit looks bearish to me. Still. That shit looks so bearish to me. Because again, when you see price like that last week, you shoved off of cost basis. Not only once, but twice. 2 taps off of 438, but you still haven't lost anything underneath you, so. Trump's tariff, 10% extra. Yay. All right. Let's see. Hymns. Oh shit, my bad, Doug. Well, that has been absolutely destroyed, and I know that they have some pending boo-boo news. And a lot of the times, if you do head down without, I've seen it done on SMCI, but if you head down without, proof or without resolution, and I'm not exactly sure what the story is on this one, but I would say that right now you are leaning more to the downside with that wick to the upside. So I would be looking for a loss of those wicks at 1537. Yeah. Can I revisit IWM 415? Sure. You also, again, if you are watching the ETFs, you have a little bit over 10 or 5 minutes, so let's see, 7 minutes here. So again, Sim, there is no confirmation here. Again, we just are recognizing the fact that we've rejected so many times off of that 688.70. So whatever floor that's been holding us up, which is basically that 261.80, 260 area, if that's lost, then we're looking short. Plain and simple, right? This is our weekly range, and we wicked up this week just to get pulled back down. So if we end up, again, losing our floor or turning red, I suspect that is likely going to be the final move. And again, I know this trading and range shit has probably traumatized a few of you who are new, or I mean, there's somebody out there who has not had a good time. Um, a lot of the rules that we have to like really lean on, like, will not cease to exist, but happen less. You'll see fluid movement, right? You'll grab a floor, build a quick box, and keep moving, or vice versa. So continuation candles are coming, and that's where we want to be prepared. SNDK. Is there anything you want me to elaborate on with that, Sim? I'm not. I don't know if that's what you're looking for there. Wow. Yes, Sim. Yeah. So for IWM, it's going to be right around 260, and 261 are some of the first shorter expiration contracts. If you're hedging with anything longer, and again, this is, you have upside and downside here. If you're short, you could look at 257, which is the target to the downside for me. To the upside, I see a target of 269. And if this is a big enough and strong enough rip, I have a straightforward target at 270.75. They're more expensive than usual, but I mean, I'd be too focused on other fuck ups and create doubt for myself. Frytater, how do you, if I tested you right now on whatever strategy you're using, how do you think you would perform? Are you confident in what you're doing? Do you feel like you trust your strategy? Thin and thick, whatever it may be. If you're not proficient at a strategy, you are going to create more trauma, or that, right? You're going to be focused on your fuck ups, because you're going to be in this constant state of trying to like, oh, this is the, I need to learn this and then I'll be fixed. And then you kind of hit that and you're like, well, I still have way more because I've dug myself a hole. So, I mean, again, operating without a good, solid understanding of what your strategy is will leave you with more, it will leave you with lessons that you won't have answers to, that you'll have to go and like hunt those down. But if you keep shoving yourself back to the market, you're just learning. You're not even learning. You're just doing it the hard way. So. Actually, you could actually go to my my YouTube channel. What are you, a duck? What is that, a duck? When would I assume a good short on SNDK would be? 588. 588 would be a good short. I don't know, man. This thing looks like it might head back up again. Pretty formidable little range that you're in right now. I mean, honestly, just losing the candle at 264.84 would probably be pretty bearish right there. 916, excuse me. 619.80, excuse me.
You
I'm
know
sitting
what time it is.
What, APP?
Damn right.
He said, damn right.
My guy knows me.
Yeah. I'm like that bartender that knows your drink. Yeah, let me get the regular.
Let me get the huge.
The
Yeah.
huge. The huge. That's when you're too comfortable being a local.
You know, based off your analysis yesterday, I actually could have taken that for a pretty good fucking return. I think it was up like 200%
Damn.
for 420s.
Hmm. Tough. So that, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. The fact that yeah. So check this out. You tap that green candle, you don't reclaim, and typically we want to see a bounce, right? At least either, well, let's see, the wick is the open. Yeah, so you'd want to see a bounce there, and you have pulled back to that exact level, and you bounced once, and then the second bounce you failed. So, I mean, without the proper volume, I would say 409, and then anything from there is going to be solved by being on the lower time frame. However, empty space wise, you filled it up. So the next target would be 458, 457.75, and that would happen through a 30-minute punch. I'm new to the channel. Would you recommend a prop firm? How proficient are you at your strategy? How I mean, you know, be honest. How do you feel when you look at a chart? Do you feel like you know what you're looking for? Not at all? Then I do not recommend a prop firm. You need to be good at what you need to be great at being able to spot a good setup. And that's something that a lot of people don't have patience for, so they end up just going straight to prop firms and they get whacked and whacked because it's not you creating rules or you learning how to navigate that system. It's you learning how to navigate that chart through the prop firm, and that creates okay, trading's hard. Now add a bunch of fucking rules that you as a new trader are gonna probably definitely struggle with. So I would rather personally throw $50 to $100 at the market, you know, even if that meant I blew my account. I would rather do that in the first 6 months or 8 months of my trading, learning how to operate in the strategy. And the goal is not necessarily to make money. Inevitably, you more than likely will, but you know, with my strategy, you know, you don't need a lot of money to, with options anyway, to generate capital. And I've had 2 people in here who have 3 people actually who through options were able to make the money to buy themselves as many fucking prop, you know, some of these cheaper prop firms as they wanted. And they went with better ones, so, you know, but I do have a YouTube channel, yes. I'm on the East Coast, so the workshop will be then. Yeah, yearly is discounted today, so for a limited time only, and only 2 people's spots are left. Not sure. Nah, it'll be back.
Chef,
It comes and goes. Yes, yes, ma'am.
hey, I'll just lay down. I'm getting episodes again.
Are you? Oh my gosh, it is 4:11. Yeah, go ahead and take the rest of the day. Is there anything I can do? I know I'm all the way across the world, but is there?
No, I just need to calm down.
Okay. Well, talk with me if you need to, okay? Text me or something if you need to grounding or something like that.
Thank you, Chef.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ivy, for everything. I really appreciate you. All right.
Thank you, Ivy. We appreciate you too.
No, I'm not like grounded like that. So like normal working out, 5:30 that should be 4:30 your time, right? Central or yeah, right? Happy. Oh, he? Oop, I said beat. Yeah, take your time.
Feel that meat.
All right, get this guy out of here.
Alright, my bad. This is what happens when you make money.
Yeah, yeah. I've turned people into, I mean, Jose, listen, Jose was not like this when he first joined. He was a good little trader, you know, just well behaved. And I don't know what happened, dude. I don't know what happened. I think it was those AI pictures. Do any of my members use Tradeify? Their support hasn't got to be in 3 days. That's insane. No, I believe everybody uses Top Step, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you, Kelly.
The top stuff, I mean, the payouts are more consistent. Apex kind of fucks with me.
You got to say that all again for me. It sounded like you're in a paper bag or something.
Oh, sorry. Is that better?
Yeah, it's good.
Uh, from my experience, Top Step is better in terms of payouts than
Gotcha.
Apex. Apex will fuck with you with the rules. They have hidden rules that aren't really clear on the page.
I don't like that. Hidden rules, dude. That shit's fucking crazy. Yes, Chris, they will be
And I want
recorded.
to
Yeah.
say, make me a better person since you joined the Discord, not worse.
You said it's made you a better person since you've joined here?
Yeah, you've made me a better person, Garrett. Thank you.
I thank you. I don't know what to say.
I used to be an asshole. I'm a good guy.
Yeah. Cool, man. I'm glad I can have any
You maybe
effect
want
on
to be a
something.
Garrett.
That's what. Damn, that's cool, man. Yeah, I'm not aware of that sort of effect I have on people, so yeah, that's thank you. Ask him where the
Just paying
bodies
it
are.
forward.
Wait, who? Him? Chad? He said. Somebody said, "Where are the bodies?" What does that mean?
I wasn't that bad of a person. So I'm just
Oh my
kidding. I'm
god!
fucking with you
Since Potter, I've been top 10 ranked in Jerkmate. Oh my god, Jose, all right, dude, you was about to give up after 2 years. Saw your educational video. I think we're waiting on the second half of that message. Yeah, if you guys are on TikTok, tap your screen. Silver broke. Yeah, silver broke. All right. Well, everybody say you know, whatever denomination you are, say a little prayer for Ivy. She's she works her butt off and she's struggling with her own little big battles right now. So send her your thoughts and stuff. Maybe some cash. She loves that. That always makes her feel better. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously. Shout out to Ivy. I'm sorry you're going through that right now. If it makes you feel any better, Ivy, I also get anxiety attacks. Still, I had one 2 days ago. It was like 5 minutes long, and definitely not from any sort of health, you know, underlying health issue. But getting in front of a screen sometimes can be nerve-wracking. It's like a bunch of people are about to look at me. I get hot and bothered too. Oh my God, get out of here. All right, anybody else want me to take a look at anything or have any questions? If you have any questions about the Discord or the workshop that's coming up on March 1st, feel free to lay it down on me. But I'm going to go pick up Peyton's birthday present for tomorrow, so afterwards.
Nope. Have a good weekend, buddy.
All right. Sim, let me take a look at that for you.
Yeah, cheers, everybody.
NTDR. Have a great one, Chad.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, I appreciate that, man.
You too, man. Happy birthday to Peyton.
Ah, yes. I'll let her know. Matador. Let that bull in, dude. Holy crap. We don't want the 5462. 5450. That's actually not a bad little setup for what this stock offers. A lot of chop, but look like you're moving. So when you look at boxes, why aren't the wicks in the boxes that you're drawing? So sometimes they are, right? So let's, you know, give you an example here. This should be an example that, okay, so we have, okay, so take a look right here, right? The candles are mostly in wicks. There's more points of contact on this small box, right? Tap, 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 and then you hold. The wicks, however, are just going to fill orders, right? So let's say I'm a buyer and I know that down here, there are orders, at the floor, there's orders to sell, and I can use those orders to sell, right, by pushing price against, I'm pretending I'm an institution right now. I can push price down to fill those orders underneath me, to knowing that, and shit, those could be my orders. You know what I mean? But I'm looking for where not price goes to pull orders off of, unless that price is the same exact price across the board. So if all of these wicks, or all of the wicks in a box, were tapping off the same area, then I would give it that. But that being said, right, something like this on the top of that box, well, actually, it's not super duper clear. Let's look at the 4. Okay, so now that I'm on the 4 hour, right, I can actually see candle closes. And that would be the top of my box, right? Look at it. Boing. So it's not the wicks that you bounce off of, it's the structure. You actually go down to meet that candle right there. But yes, this is TradingView, Tyrone. Me and Tyrone. Oh, I want to hear that song right now. Put some Erykah Badu in here, boy. Erykah Badu slaps. All right. QQQ weekly close tell you anything, or more chop? It left me with more questions than answers. I mean, yeah, more questions than answers, because, typically in this environment, or without this environment, excuse me, I would be, what the fuck, where am I? There we go. Okay, so we'll talk about it really quickly. Nah, that's all good. Buy me anything. So this was the floor, right, that we wanted to, and we're close enough to it that to next week we could be pushing through this box. But the question that I have is, I've seen retests that are fully green, right, and then end up pulling into reversals. So my question here is this a retest, and we engulf all of that empty space that we created earlier? But the fact of the matter is, we did bounce off of the floor, and we are now closing closer to the candle above us. And if you look at this on the 24-hour, right, that's where the questions really start to fly, because again, next week we have that 611 and then 614 target, but you took 5 days to accomplish little to nothing. And to me, that's whack. You know what I mean? Come on. I fuck with your range of music. There's very little that I don't listen to. I just like music, man. So that's my question. And I think, again, next week I will find my answer. I took some speculative positions on IWM and the Qs. IWM is more bearish to me as of right now. That being because of all of the rejections that we've experienced overhead, which is now adding up. Yep. All right. Damn, not bad day, dude. Look at this guy's account. Yeah, we did it, dude. Nice job. A little 800 bucks today. Not bad. Damn. Little silver action. This guy hates the Lakers, but he loves money, dude. 200% on that one. Damn, brother. That's a fucking killer trade. 560 bucks in. 1100 bucks out. That's fucking delightful. Yeah, same homie said he didn't know what a contract or what a candlestick was a month ago. Let's go, 184%. I know it's little, but I can see that you're testing that out, Blake, and that's good. that's fire that you're using low risk to test this theory out. So good job. All right. Discord, if you guys don't have any other questions, I hope you guys have a great week. Enjoy yourself. I'll be back on Sunday around 6 o'clock. I'll alert. Make sure you have your alert set. But yeah, you guys have a great weekend. All right, peace out. All right, YouTube, TikTok, if you guys have anything you would like for me to take a look at, go ahead and give it to me now. Pause. Can I explain the difference between long and short? Yeah, short is just you're trying to take price down. That's it. Long is just trying to take price up. So Bob, if you're hedging, typically whatever trigger that would fire price to the upside would be where you would get out of that hedge. So whatever, if you take a long and you trigger a box to break out, that's where you would get rid of that if possible. I took a small position, Quentin, on Apple. I actually fuck with this setup heavy. It's got a killer fucking price target of 270, 175, and 272. And it just, all we have to do is get over 265.80 on the 4 hour, and then on the hourly, it's 265.70, basically the same thing. But I did take a position on this one, a small one. I'll likely add to this one if we do get that 265, 266 break. All right. SRPT up. What the fuck just happened to my chart? Oh, there it is. Okay. So, and then the floor would be $20. So I'd be looking at a $19.70 and $20 target. What's the cost of your class for previous students? Whatever you want to pay. You can send me whatever. You can cash at me $1, whatever you feel like it's worth. What's considered small to me? Like 800, 500 bucks. Oh. Booz Allen Hamilton Holdings Corporation. What the fuck is this? Oh my God. So you're about to slam into an old, if you haven't already, yeah, so you're, I mean, looking at a break here, potentially down to 73.11 on the weekly. However, you are building a box dead slap center in the middle of that range like this. So anything over $80, and then obviously a loss of 76.24 would give you that downside target. Silver does look good, yeah. Silver does look good. All right. I'll see you guys Sunday. The discount for yearly closes tonight. It's 25% off, and the workshop is on March 1st. Other than that, I'll see you on Sunday at 6 o'clock, and we'll try and prep for the week ahead. Peace out. See you in class.